Hello everybody and welcome to my first review. It's gonna be the movie Batman Assault on Arkham. It's the most recent DC Comics movie about Batman and I really love Batman. I have almost all of the animated stuff and the collector's editions from the games. I haven't read the comics because I just don't like comics, so I can't give you a comparison to that or what happens into that media form, but I will just give you my opinion about the movie. So it's directed by Jay Olivery and Ethan Spaulding. Ethan Spaulding has made several other movies for DC Comics, The Green Lantern, and lots of them aren't that good, but he has made two movies that I did quite enjoy, and that's The Dark Knight Returns Part 1 and 2 from 2 years ago. So that did give me some hope. So yeah, let's start the review. First part I'm gonna talk about is story, of course. So what's the story about? A group of villains named Harley, Quinn, Deadshot, Shark, Spider, Killer Frost and Captain Boomerang are captured, and they are forced to work together as a team to find a thumbstick in Riddler's staff, and he's captured and brought to Arkham Asylum. So that's the first half of the movie, I think. But halfway in the movie, the Joker escapes and set every inmate free. That's one thing I didn't like about this movie, because it's prequel to the Arkham games, Arkham Asylum, Arkham City, to Arkham Origins. Not that sure, don't think so. But the problem with it is Arkham Asylum was the big story-driven game. The big story was that the Joker set every inmate free, and that he has made a whole night for Batman to go through. And with this movie, this is happening before Arkham Asylum. In my opinion, that made the story of Arkham Asylum worse, because he does the same thing the second time. Not that I find the story of Arkham Asylum worse now. I find this version not that good because of that. But I don't know if this also happens in the comics. So if that happens in the comics, yeah, then they have to do it. So, but another problem, and this is a problem with the movies, and it doesn't matter if it happens in the comics, is the plot twist. There is a plot twist in the movie about 3/4 in, and you just see it coming a mile before it happens. Not even a little bit in, when the plot twist already happened, but just as it happens, you know. I can't say what it is because I don't want to spoil the movie, but if you see it, undoubtedly you will know what's going on. And then when it happens, the Riddler just waits a second and says, "Haven't you guys figured it out?" against the villains, just as it is a big twist that the viewer hasn't already figured out. So that's just lazy, and I find that they just think the viewer is dumb. So that wasn't too great. And there is another side story with a bomb that the Joker has, and Harley Quinn doesn't know where it is. And the bomb is used for the last fight, and it just hasn't something to do with the original story, so with the main story. So I don't know why they put it in there, because it wasn't needed. The Joker setting every inmate free and then fighting the group of villains in Batman was just logical. He would have done that with the bomb or without the bomb, so it was just needed. Now the second thing I'm going to talk about, the visuals. They are good, but they are a little bit standard for DC standards right now. They do much of the same style. And the bit that annoys me the most about that style is the slow response time from faces. Something happens, and then 2 seconds nothing happens on the faces, and then they react. And most of the time you see their faces for around 2 seconds, and then there's just no movement. And then after a couple of seconds they go to the next scene. It slows the movie down and it makes it more boring. So yeah, the visuals, mixed feelings about that. Now the soundtrack. It's a mix from electronic music and orchestral music. And for me, the electronic music didn't quite fit in. With an exception of one scene. But the orchestral music was really good. The moment Batman came in the picture, and there was a little short theme, and that was just greatly done. And the fighting music, the orchestral one, was good as well. But yeah, mixed feelings about that because of the electronics. And last but not least, the voice acting. Kevin Conroy returns as Batman, and that was just awesome. Of course, he sounds great. It's just Batman, he is Batman. And Troy Baker did the Joker. He does also a phenomenal job. I find Mark Hamill still better, maybe because I'm used to him, but Troy Baker does a great job as the Joker. And also John DiMaggio, you know him as Bender from Futurama, was fun. He brought the character of Shark really to life, and his humor was in it too, so yeah, that was fun. But a couple of characters were off for me. Peter North in combination with the visuals, because Peter North as Penguin in the Arkham games I liked. I didn't find him annoying or that the voice didn't quite fit in with the character, but how he's drawn in this movie, they just didn't match for me. Also Hayden Walsh as Harley Quinn. I know the original voice actress for Harley Quinn quit after Arkham Asylum. In Arkham City there was a new voice actress, and in this movie there's another voice actress, and yeah, she didn't quite fit in with the character as Harley Quinn. In Arkham City it was also different, but it could be the voice of Harley Quinn, but this one I didn't have that feeling. And the stupid thing in this movie is they constantly say Yahtzee. Even the Joker does it one time, and that's just not something the Joker would do. So that's another thing I have with this movie. And the last one I didn't find good, and this one I find the worst, is Jennifer Hale as Killer Frost. This one was so bad for me that I just thought it belonged to another character. Sometimes they quite fit in, but most of the time it didn't look like that character would have that voice. So yeah, that was the voice acting for me, so mixed feelings about that too. That's why I can't give this movie an 8 or a 9 or even a 10. I go with a 6.5. It isn't a terrible movie, it isn't a bad movie, but it isn't a great movie that some of the animated movies were, like Mask of the Phantasm or Batman Beyond: The Return of the Joker. So yeah, it isn't I wouldn't pay full price for this movie. But if it's on sale, buy it and watch it. You will enjoy your time, but nothing special. So I hope you have enjoyed this movie review, and it is my first one, so I'm just learning, and I hope my English pronunciation will get better as time goes on. But yeah, thank you for watching, and I hope to see you in the future. Goodbye.